Hello and welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial we will be making a flashbang effect similar to games like Call of Duty. And as you see here, it's not just putting a white effect above a screen, it's making this cool effect that it seems like we're taking a screenshot of what we are seeing right now and blocking the vision of our player, and we will make it like if we are looking the other way. If you hear the sound, you will see that our character is not affected by this. I'm using the same project from the first tutorial with the bug. It doesn't matter what you have. We only gonna need a first person character controller. I'm also using the gun is from this asset, from the asset store, which is free, and the sound is from this asset, which is also free. So I will delete the scripts so we can do them again. We'll delete this. The capsule is just a capsule, a scaled down capsule. Okay, this will serve as our flashbang. We will make it so we won't need stuff to add here. We will add everything we're gonna need. We will add it from script, so it's going to be easy to just change models. Let me delete those scripts. Now, the first thing we're gonna need is a UI raw image. This will serve as the place we will put the screenshot we are taking, so that we block the vision of our player. We will change the anchor point and we will just drag it and scale it over our image. I will duplicate this one because the screenshot is going to be the same. It will look exactly the same as what the player is seeing. It might seem that the game has frozen, so we will add another one above with just a white color, so we have the flashbang effect. You can also do that with a material, with specific shaders, but this is the easiest way, so we don't have to write shaders. We will add a tag I have already added, and we will call it overall texture. Okay, so now that we have this set up, we will go to our script folder and create our scripts. The first script we will add, it's called capture screen. We will create one called flashbang. We create the scripts from the start because we will access it from the beginning, so we don't have problems later. The next will be throw object, and we need another one that will help fade our screens in and out, and we will just call it fade out. Okay, so the first thing we will do is open up throw object and open up our flashbang. Okay, so let's go to our flashbang first and add a public game object This gives me some error, so I'll open it again. Okay, just for now, an empty game object, which is public, and we will go to our throw object. We will need a public game object, which is going to be the model of our flashbang, of our grenade. We will need an internal game object that it will serve so we can access and add stuff to it. And we will need a float that is going to be the force of with how many force we are throwing our object. The start we won't need. We will say if input dot get mouse button. Okay, you can change this to whatever key you want. Okay. And we will say our flash game object is our instantiated flashbang object. Take care to not add the flashbang script, but add our variable. And the place we want to be instantiated is on our transform position with our transform dot forward. We do this so it doesn't instantiate inside our own collider. We don't care about his rotation for now, and we say is instantiated as a game object. Now we will start adding the components we need, and we will say to add a rigid body, and to that rigid body we want to add force, and the force is going to be our forward vector multiplied by the force, and the force mode is going to be on impulse. This means that all the force is applied all at once. We will add then a new component, which will be the flashbang script, and to that flashbang script we will add the player variable we've added before. It's going to be this transform, and we will add an audio source for the sound we will play later. Now that's it with this, and now we will go to our capture screen script. So first thing we will add is using, let me resize that, is using Unity engine.ui. So we're using the UI namescape. We will need a public bool which is called cab, and forgot this, another public bool that's going to be start fading, the raw image, and our fade out script we will just call fade out, and an audio clip that is going to serve as the clip the flashbang will make. We can add this variable here or wherever else we want, but since we will be accessing from the Flashbang script our capture screen, we can just store it here and use it when we want. And on the start, we will set up the references to our image, which is going to be the tag we added, and we will take his raw image to use, and the fade out is going to be in the same transform as the image, and we will say get component fade out. Okay, instead of just writing this all again and putting it copy paste here, since we have taken the image, we can take the transform from there and get the components we need. Now on update, we will say if start fading is true, fade out we're going to add the variables first on the other script, so just write it here but comment it, and we will say if fade out is fade equal, if start fading, fade out dot fade equals true, and the function start fading equals false. Okay, these functions we will add them later. This variable we will add it later, and this is just the same actually. So after that, we will say we will make a public static texture, which we will call capture. This we will take a rectangle, which will be our capture zone, and we'll take destination.x and integer destination.y, another two variables. Although we will most likely be using zeros here, these variables will have 0, we will add them just in case. And inside this function we will need a texture dd, which we will name result, and this result is going to be our new texture dd, which will have our screen width, our screen height, its dimensions will be a screen width and screen height, and the texture format will be RGB24, and we don't want to create mip maps, and we will say result.readPixels with dimensions of our capture zone, our text y, and recalculate mip maps false, and then we have to do the apply and return our result. Okay, now this, because we're using ReadPixels, we are using the CPU to take whatever we are seeing in the screen. In Unity 3 we are only allowed to use ReadPixels, So as you might guess, running this on every frame, it will bring our performance to a very low standard. So we will only run this one time, so we can have a good performance. We will add the void on post render function, and we will say our image texture equals capture, and we will add a new rectangle which is going to be 0, 0, screen width, screen height, and our destination X will be 0 and our destination Y will be 0. And we will say, no, we will actually add an if statement, and we'll put that inside there, so it only happens once, and we will say cap equals false. Okay, now so we add the variables, we find our raw image, and we get our fade out component. And if we say to start fading here, we will send to the fade out to this to start fading out. Okay, we only want to do it once. It's just simple stuff. Okay, and we will say if the cap boolean is true, we will take whatever we are seeing inside our screen using our public our function here, which uses the ReadPixel function Unity has. Okay, so basically we are creating a new texture from what we are seeing in the screen at that time. And now that we have this ready, we will go to our Flashbang script, and we will start adding variables. First we will need a max timer, we'll give it 7, and we will need another float we will use as an internal float timer, so we can start counting. We will need an audio clip which will be public, so we can feed it from the other script, and we will need a transform which will be our player. Now we will need an audio source, our boolean which we'll also call capture, and our capture screen script. And to start we will say audio source equals get component audio source, and our capture screen equals our camera dot main dot transfer dot get component our capture screen script. Okay, I forgot to add one more variable. We want another one so that we can only make it happen once, and we will say On update, we will start adding to our timer, and if our timer is higher than our maximum timer and we haven't already do our calculations, we will make a new angle, which is a float variable. We will just say 10 here. No, actually we're not even gonna need this, so we'll delete this and we will say vector3 dot angle. This function finds the angle between two vector 3s. Okay, and we will say our player dot transform forward, and we want our transform position minus the player dot transform dot position, and we will say if it's lower than 110, we will go to our capture screen script and we will say to start fading, and to our capture screen again, and we will say to capture our screen. Okay, now this finds the angle between two vectors, and we will say if our player is looking towards, if the angle of the player is looking is lower than 110, then it means that he is looking towards the position of our flashbang. So if it's not looking at the position of the flashbang, it means the effect it won't affect him. But we do want to play the sound, and we will say play one shot, and we'll say we want to play the audio clip from a capture screen. So we won't need this. Yeah, I've added too much variables anyway. Okay. Okay, and after that we will say we will close our if statement, means that we do it once, and then we can say that if our timer is higher than our maximum timer plus 1, means the next second, we can destroy this game object. Because this game object will also play the audio clip, if we destroy it the exact same frame, we won't hear the sound. Okay, because we want to play the sound from the position the grenade has fallen, the flashbang grenade has fallen, we just deleted the second after. That's it with our flashbang script. And next we will need our fade out script. Let's open it. Now, in this one we'll also need our Unity engine.ui. We will need the boolean we added on the other script and have commented out, which is here. Okay, now we will need the raw image which will serve as the texture, as the screenshot we have taken. And because we can't access directly the color, we don't want to use a material with a custom shader to multiply the white color of the image. The second raw image, we will call it color multiplier. We will also need a timer, an internal timer, and because you can't access directly, you can't manipulate directly the colors from the image, we will store them to their own colors, and we will add another bool that's gonna serve as our count. Okay, and on start we will say our image is get component raw image. Alright, now for the second raw image, because we don't want to just go and add a new tag over here, because we will have too much and we will throw our script in here. We can do this by doing this. We will make an array of raw images, we will call imgs, which will equal our transform.parent, and we will take every raw image which in the children of our parent. So basically we have the script here, and we say to the script, go to the parent and take every raw image you see, every component raw image you see here from your children. And after that we'll just do a for each loop, and we'll say for each raw image in images, if the image is not equals the above image, the already stored image, then the color multiplier will be that image. Okay, this is just purely optional. There are many ways to do the same thing, but this is a nice tip so you can find more objects like this in the future if you need it. Another way to do it is just make this public and just drag and drop them from the screen, from the inspector. Now we will say our first color is our img, our first image color, and we want his alpha to be at 0, and our image color will be the new color which has his alpha all the way to the down. Okay, because if we go directly and change the alpha, this will give an error and will actually put in the console a message that will say you to store the color first and then change it. We will do the same to our new color, which will be our color 2, will be our color multiplier dot color. We will take the alpha all the way to the down, and we will then apply the new color to our color multiplier. Okay, we bring the alpha down. It's the same like going here and dragging this all the way to the end, to 0. we just automate this procedure. Okay, and if you, of whatever object, most objects, you will get the alpha all the way to the down, they will make them invisible. Okay, so enough with that. Next thing we want to do is go to our update function. And we will say now, if our fade variable is true, we want our first color, alpha, to be at 1. And we apply this color to our image. Okay, this makes them all white. So with the color, with the image texture, we will see the screenshot, and with our second raw image, we will actually we'll add the white effect. Okay, we make the new color, apply it to our screenshot, make the new color, but not exactly at 1, so we want to be a little transparent so we can see our screenshot, and we just apply it to the color multiplier. We can also say that we enable, because later we will be closing it, we enable our screenshot, we enable our color multiplier, and we'll say start counting, and make sure this runs only once. Now that our count variable is true, we will say we will start adding to our timer, and we will say if our timer is higher than 5, so that means the effect and the screenshot will stay just for 5 seconds as it is upon our camera, and after 5 seconds we will start subtracting from our time.delta time, multiply it by 0.1, and apply that color, the new color, to our screenshot color. The same with our second color. Multiply it half of what the screenshot will be, and we also apply the new color to our color multiplier, and we will say if our screenshot color, if the alpha of our screenshot color is less or equals to 0, we reset the timer and we stop counting. Okay, and we will add an else to our if statement. We will say if we don't count, that means we don't really need the overlay images, so we just disable them here. Okay, this is pretty basic stuff, just adding values, adding if statements, subtracting from colors. This is just basic stuff, and we're pretty much done, and we will go add our scripts. First we will go to our first raw image, we will add the tag if we haven't already, and we will drop our fade out script. Next we will go to our first person camera. We will add the throw object and the capture screen. The capture screen must always be on a camera, okay? For this is a mono behavior function, okay, and it needs a camera, otherwise we won't be capturing anything. Okay, the next thing, what else we need? We've added the fade out, we added the throw object, we added the capture screen. We will go to our project files, we will add the audio clip, and we'll need something that's going to be our flashbang. I just put this capsule, okay, drop it there, hit maximize on play, and let's see. Now if we click on throwing a flashbang, we have the effect, and after 5 seconds we start fading it out. We throw again. I actually can't hear the sound because I have the volume down, and that's about it. Now this cool effect can be used in many other ways. Let's say if you want to make a photography game. You see here, if we scale this all down, let's make the alpha, let's go out, see what exactly happening here. I'll just put him here so we can, okay, we start, we throw, we let our timer pass, we have taken the screenshot. It's not, let me just make them even smaller, that we don't actually need. Let's make this, put that here. Let's go once more, throw our flashbang, let it count. As you can see, we have taken the screenshot in the back, and that is our effect. We don't really care about it. Okay, so you can see, you can do a lot of stuff. You can even add a new camera, add that camera, change the camera to the canvas to be affected by on screen space to be on camera, add the new camera, and you can even do rotate this, rotate that, make it smaller, change the anchor to whatever you want, hit play, and I forgot UI. We want to only max. We want to be on UI. Clear flags to be depth only. So if you see now there, and we have taken a screenshot once again. So there are many ways to do this, and there are many stuff you can do with this, with ReadPixels. Just keep in mind that in Unity 3 or maybe in the Unity Pro you will use render texture. It's another function. So ReadPixels, it's going through the CPU, so that means low performance. But if we just use it for a screenshot, it's going to be okay, so we don't care. So that is our tutorial. Subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Any questions, suggestions, or anything else, you can go to the subreddit or to the forum post you see in this video and comment. The fastest way I will see it is actually the Reddit, the subreddit I've created, so it's best to comment there. And I think that's about it. If you want to suggest any videos, you can also in the subreddit, and we will see on next week what else we will be making. At this moment I'm between two tutorial series. So see you next week.